Hello, everybody. Welcome to Josh Dell'Aria's Musical Escapades. My name's Josh Dell'Aria, your host, and I'm super excited because I finally have another song review out for you guys. I know it's been so long since I've been able to put one out. But one of the songs I've been listening to over the last couple weeks, I've been super excited about, and it comes from Kate Magdalena, who is a folk singer-songwriter out of originally New York City and the San Francisco area. And now I believe she travels back and forth between California and Franklin, Tennessee, which is one of the suburbs of Nashville. It's about 2 hours away from where I live. Kate sent me her bio here as well, and this is also on her website. But she classifies her music as timely Americana, essentially saying that she's trying to write about things that are going on in our time right now. Now, Kate does do a lot of covers, but she also does make some songs that are based on poetry, what I would call interpretations in that sense. And the one I'm going to share with you is one of those interpretations of a poem from Theodore Roethke. Now, if you don't know who Theodore Roethke was, he was an American poet, lived in about the 1900s or so. Pretty much his entire family was made up of lawyers, and he didn't want to be a lawyer. So he kind of struggled with a lot of different things, trying to figure out where his path was in life. And he ended up turning to poetry as a kind of therapeutic manner of dealing with some of the depression and anxiety. And I think he had bipolar disorder that he had to endure through most of his life. So for this song, Kate is doing an interpretation for one of his poems. It's called The Waking. Now, for those of you who have been watching me for a while, you guys know when I do my top 20 of every year, I don't typically accept covers for the top 20 because I base it on the year of the song, the year the song was originally released, is where I usually draw the line. But when it comes to poems that are being interpreted to music, if they haven't been done so in the past, then it's fair game if another musician does bring a poem to song and it gets released in a particular year, it does qualify for the top 20. That's actually happened before with Jennifer Kimball back in 2017 with The Valley, which I believe was based on a poem from Wendell Berry, if I remember correctly. So my point is to say that this song from Kate Magdalena, The Waking, is going to qualify for the top 20 of 2020. Now, one thing I really do like about Kate is her voice. I think it's really, really beautiful, and I think that you guys are going to see that quite a bit on display as you listen to her. I actually also went off and listened to some of her Christmas EP that she just released, and some of her interpretations of those songs are really incredible, and I think that her voice really carries her on that. And I think that it does in this song too. So again, without further ado, this is Kate's song called The Waking.
Take my waking slow. I feel my fate in what I cannot fear. I learn by going where I have to go. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. We think by feeling what is there to know. I hear my being dance from ear to ear. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I learn by going where I have to go. God bless the ground, I shall walk softly there and learn by going where I have to go. I wake to sleep take my waking slow. Great nature has another thing to do to you and me, so take the lively air and lovely land by going where to go. This shaking keeps me steady. I should know what falls away is always and is near. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I learn by going where I have to go. I learn by going where I have to go.
So, because this song is an adaptation of a poem, obviously the lyrics are not completely Kate's. She didn't write everything. I mean, she didn't write the specific words per se. Obviously, Theodore Roethke did that. However, the way that Kate arranges these into this song is important. If you think about, I guess you kind of like some classic songs, like if you think about things like Handel's Messiah, for instance. Um, there's only a small amount of text that Handel uses in the Messiah for each particular kind of aria in that whatever you want to call it. It's not an opera, but that song or whatever you want, collection of songs. Um, so when he's doing that, he's trying to determine how exactly to put the text into the music, and he's trying to pick out what parts to repeat and what parts not to. So Kate Magdalena is doing the same thing here with this Theodore Roethke poem, and I think she does a phenomenal job of it here, deciding on when to put in a lot of the repetitions and things like that. So you can hear certain lines that sound like they're recurring, like these ones.
I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I learn by going where I have to go. I learn by going where I have to go.
So what's important about this is that the way that she puts these together, the way she puts these in here, it's pretty much in a different spot every time. So the contour of the melody that she's taking to those lines are different each time she goes through them. So that makes it harder for the listener actually to pick out that she is actually repeating those lines. And what I think that does in terms of repetition is that it actually makes it a lot easier for the listener to stomach, because it's not like they're hearing the exact same thing 5,000 times over and over and over again. Making it sound a little bit different in some way kind of helps separate that for the listener. Basically, that just means that it will keep you from being annoyed by the repetitions. See, this is the type of stuff that really makes a good repetition. You don't necessarily, when you repeat something in music, you don't necessarily want to repeat it the exact same way over and over again, but you want to change little things about it so that way it comes across to your listener differently. And your listener may not immediately pick up on the fact that things are getting repeated. And that helps keep the song fresh and helps it flow a lot more easily. Now, another very important thing when it comes to songs like these is phrasing. Now, phrasing is kind of a difficult concept to explain, and I've tried to explain it in the past. And what it basically means is the way that you sing your music, the way that it comes out. So it's probably easier for me to demonstrate this rather than trying to explain it to you guys because it's, again, like I said, really hard to explain. So I'm actually going to play Kate's second verse here, and then I'm going to sing it in a way that shows really poor phrasing. But the way Kate has it sung, she does this very, very well. So I'm going to play hers first, and then I'll sing for comparison, and this will hopefully show you what I mean by this.
We think by feeling. What is there to know? I hear my being dance from ear to ear. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I learn by going where I have to go.
Okay, so if I were to phrase it badly, this is how I would probably sing it. We think by feeling, what is there to know? I hear my being dance from ear to ear. I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. I learn by going where I have to go. So a couple things here. So you can hear that Kate is using a lot of is kind of like delay or kind of like this like rolling into words in some senses. Like I wake to sleep and take my waking slow. Like, it emphasizes more of the word when you do it that way. Another big one that she does a great job of is the word dance. And when you heard me sing it, I sang it like dance. But the way she sings it, it's super exciting because she knows the word dance is very exciting. So she goes, dance, instead of dance. So things like that are really, really important when you're trying to bring out the most in the lyrics. And when you can bring out more of what the words mean by the way that you say them, it makes a huge difference in how great your song is. Now, one other spot where I feel like Kate may have hit some rough patches is kind of being able to format the song in the same way that the punctuation in the poem is laid out. It's a little difficult, but let me play a couple of lines from close to the end here.
What falls away is always and is near.
So in the poem, that line reads, "What falls away is always, period, and is near, period," which is a really funny and odd way of writing that in a poem. I can see its intention. It's not really like super like normal. It is unusual, and I think Rothke put it in the poem that manner because he wanted to grab attention. Now, Kate putting this in her song, it's hard to make that actually sound like the way it's meant to be read in the poem, because with the way the song is structured, um, it doesn't really lend well to periods or semicolons or whatever that are put in those kinds of places in the poem. Like it's easy to do that in the poem. It's not so easy to display that in a song. And being able to display the punctuation kind of properly in this song in that sense, I know I'm using the term kind of figuratively, but um, it actually makes a big difference because it would help the listener to understand exactly what the message is trying to get across. See, I'm really torn on this part because it's important for the musician to be able to get the message to the listeners properly. So punctuation and all is really important so that you can hear the way the words are supposed to sound. However, it's not always easy to do that when you have particular song structures and things like that that you also kind of need to follow as a musician. So sometimes that gets lost in the shuffle, and I totally get it because it's again like, it's not necessarily easy to find the best ways to put together sentences in music, especially when the poet throws in a dumb period where it really kind of doesn't belong and interrupts the flow. But in that situation, it's really hard for Kate to interrupt the flow of the music, or else that would sound really weird too. So the thing that you kind of have to do is try to find the best way of bridging those two concepts, being able to display what you want to say properly with being able to fit that in the musical rhythm that you're going along with. And I think Kate does the best job that she can, but I do think that there are times in there, just a couple, not much, where it does get kind of confusing exactly how she wants the song to come out. Or I guess I should say not the song, but the lyrics to come out. In any case, I definitely want to end this review on a good note, or a good bunch of notes, because I don't want to neglect the instruments here, which are also fantastic in this song. So I'm going to go back to the start at the very intro of the song, just to show you again just how wonderful these instruments sound. Yeah, it's really incredible when you think about it. It sounds so wonderful, and in a lot of ways, the different timbres of the different instruments, the guitar, I think it's a flute in the background, the wind instrument, whatever it is, that might be a pan flute or something like that, um, and just all those things put together, the way they sounds really, really nice, and it obviously carries through to the rest of the song as well, even though you don't really hear it quite as much under Kate's vocals, but that's perfectly fine. So, since this is a 2020 song, I get to decide here now whether or not I'm going to decide to nominate this for the top 20. And I am going to decide, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and nominate this one. So again, the top 20, if you get nominated for it, you always have a chance, but it's never a guarantee that you're going to make the top 20 until I put it together. So, but I do think this song has some great potential. It's amazing just the way that Kate put this together. I can see a lot of great inspiration. I love the way that she structured the words for the most part. Um, and I think it deserves every opportunity to get onto that top 20. All right, that's all I have on this song, you guys. Thank you all for watching. I want to give a huge thank you to Kate Magdalena and, in part, her producer Billy Smiley, who have helped me out with a lot of these photos and the songs and all that sort of stuff. They've given me far more than I even needed, which is wonderful. I really appreciate that. And you guys should definitely go and check Kate out. She's amazing what she does. You can check out her website. It's katemagdalena.com. And as always, I will put her social media links in the description below. And as always, if you're a musician and you're watching this show and you say, Josh, how can I get my music featured on your channel? Well, it's easy. You can either email me here at joshdell'ariasmusicalescapades@gmail.com, or you can send it to my Facebook page, facebook.com/joshdmusicalescapades, or you can put it down in the comments below here, again, both on YouTube and Rumble. And whatever way you do it, whatever way you get it to me, I will listen to it, and it may have a chance at getting onto a future show. And if it's from 2020, it may have an opportunity to get on the top 20 of 2020. Gosh, that's a lot of 20s. I don't want to say the word anymore. And for those of you guys who don't know already, if you're not already watching this on Rumble, I have started a new channel on Rumble. The exact same thing I'm doing here, only it's over on the non-censorship video platform of Rumble. And I think I am the only one over there right now, as far as I know, who is actually doing music reviews on Rumble right now. So make sure you go subscribe over on my Rumble channel too. It'll be down in the description below. It'll be at the end of the video here too. Again, thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, go make great music.